WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. So check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, Who That Nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Well, some of it is just athletic skill set. Some of it is how well they can learn and retain information, how quickly they can process information on the field, and where they're at from a fundamental and technique standpoint.
Dennis, were you out here in the afternoon? Was that to try to get them acclimated to the heat, or it just worked out that way? Like, was there a plan to go in the hottest part?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It just, getting an opportunity to get outside and practice. We kind of changed it up a little bit. We did our walkthrough in the morning and had an afternoon practice. I wanted to get outside, certainly not too hot. And you get a chance to see what kind of condition these guys are in.
Is it too early to see it? No, I was going to say really small sample size so far, but Chris Olave, what have you seen so far?
Yeah, I mean, you said it, small sample size, but just same things that we saw on tape. A guy that is really fast, smooth in transition, good route runner, and look, ultimately, he's the type of character person that we wanted to bring into the building, and I think that's as important as anything.
Dennis, do you have a plan yet for what side Trevor Penning will play, left or right, or is that still up in the air?
No, he's starting off over on the left-hand side, and then obviously we're going to evaluate things as we go along.
Do you feel better about maybe the idea of leaving Ryan where he is if you can play him on the left?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've gotten a lot of work with Ram on the right-hand side, so being able to plug and play, and look, we've got James Hurst too, so I mean, we feel pretty good about where we're at offensive line-wise.
Can you talk about?
We feel pretty good about where we're at offensive line-wise. We've gotten a lot of work with Ram on the right-hand side, so.
The right, or is that still up in the air?
No, he's starting off over on the left-hand side, and then obviously we're going to evaluate things as we go along.
Do you feel better about maybe the idea of leaving Ryan where he is if you can play him on the left?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ultimately, he's the type of character person that we wanted to bring into the building, and I think that's as important as anything.
Dennis, do you have a plan yet for what side Trevor Penning will play, left or right, or is that still up in the air?
No, he's starting off over on the left-hand side, and then obviously we're going to evaluate things as we go along.
would you feel better about maybe the idea of leaving Ryan where he is if you can play him on the left?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've gotten a lot of work with Ram on the right hand side. So, you know, being able to plug and play, and look, we've got James Hurst too. So I mean, we feel pretty good about where we're at offensive line wise.
Can you talk about Jarvis Landry and what he would mean to you?
Yeah, look, he's obviously been a really good player in our league. He's a guy that we feel like you know, can move the chains, and feel like he's a guy from a character standpoint, from a leadership standpoint that I think we can use.
We haven't gotten to talk to you. Yeah, the same question. We haven't gotten a chance to talk to you since Tyrann Mathieu signed. Just how big is that? Just not necessarily what he can do on the field, right, but what he can do for the community and coming home.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I think that's obviously a bonus, and I think that's really important to Tyrann to be able to make an impact in the community. But certainly, he's here because he's a really good football player. He's a playmaker. We feel like he's still got a lot of good football left in him, and we feel like he's got some of the leadership qualities that maybe we lose out on when we lose a guy like Malcolm Jenkins. So I think that was important to be able to get a guy like that.
What does it do for the defense when you have two safeties that can do a lot of different things and play in a lot of different spots?
Yeah, it just allows us to be a little bit more multiple. I think it allows us to hold our disguises a little bit better. And so I think that's really what it is. I like the versatility of having guys that can play both in the front and in the back end.
How do you feel about having Gardner Johnson and Tyrann Mathieu out there at the same time?
Well, I feel good about it. Yeah, I mean, look, they're both good players, and you know, I feel like both those guys can help us win.
Dennis, what have you seen from Trey Ragas? He's a running back from UL Lafayette. He's a local kid trying to make it. What have you seen from Trey?
Yeah, I think he's got good vision as a runner. You see some speed there. I like what I've seen in the camp. He seems to have you know, picked up the scheme pretty well. So I like some of the things I've seen.
How important was it to add to the wide receiver room? Obviously, you got two big names in the first round pick, and obviously Jarvis. But how important was it just to add to that room?
Yeah, look, you know, I don't think you really necessarily set out and say, well, we have to do this in this room, or we have to do this. I think you kind of identify some areas that you need some help, and then you have to see what's available out there. And fortunately for us, we felt like wide receiver was a position that we could look to add to, and fortunately for us, we had some means of doing that both through the draft and free agency.
What about the tight end positions? We haven't received much from that side of the field. Is that one of the reasons? Crew?
Yeah, look, I like where we're at from a tight end perspective, and Lucas Kroll was a guy that we thought coming out of Pittsburgh that was you know, a talented player that had some ability that we thought maybe if he came in here and developed, that he might be a guy that could come in and potentially do something for us.
Yes, I know you've been a head coach before, but has that been like a transition period for you as far as just getting adjusted to your new role again?
Yeah, I went to the wrong office a couple times for the first few weeks, but other than that, yeah, look, I mean, there's certainly a transition, but obviously it's much smoother in the fact that I've been here 12 years now, and so 7 coming back. So the transition has actually been fairly smooth, but just like anything, you know, when you're taking on new responsibility, there's some transition that goes with that.
Coach, when you sign veteran players like that who have had success, is part of what you're trying to sell in is that we can win now, our roster's good enough, we can contend? Is that part of it?
Well, certainly that's always been our mindset here. You know, our mindset has been to win and to win now. And certainly we feel like we've got a roster that we're capable of winning. And we're going to look to do anything we can to help improve that roster to give us the best chance to do that.
Dennis, what did you like about Abram Smith, running back out of Baylor, that you signed him as a free agent?
Yeah, tough, smart, competitive, really good special teams value. And I think, you know, anytime you're looking at an undrafted free agent, the first thing you're looking at is, okay, number one, how does he make the team? And then number two, does he have the ability to be active on game day? And for a young player, the best way that you have a chance to be active on game day is to contribute on special teams. And so that was an area that we felt like he was really good at.
Was he a guy maybe you were a little surprised that was still there after the draft?
Yeah, because he was a guy that late in the draft we were considering, and I wasn't sure that he was going to be there in free agency, but luckily for us he was, and we feel like that's a pretty good pickup and a good try for us.
Any first impressions of number 12 that you saw today?
Yeah, look, I mean, you know, as I said earlier, he's what we thought he would be. Really smooth route runner, good in transition. He's smart, and he's the right type of character guy that we want to bring into our building.
Have you heard from any LSU fans you might know about Mathieu and Landry back-to-back like you did?
Well, yeah, my whole neighborhood, I think, is sent me a text in some form or fashion. So, look, it's one of those things that's not the big contributing factor as to why we bring these players in. We feel like these players can help us win and help us grow our locker room, and that's really what it boils down to. And so, you know, we had an opportunity there with both those players, and felt like they could help us win, and had some good leadership value for our team. Is that it? Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach Dennis Allen, man, on the press conference for the rookie minicamp that's happening. Started on Friday, Saturday, and will carry on until Sunday. So 3-day rookie minicamp. Dennis Allen chiming in. So much love to the family, like I've been saying for some time now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. I'm Big Q. I'm in the building, and a lot positive stuff going on for the black and gold, man. Obviously, Dennis Allen handling the business at rookie minicamp. Much love to the fam for doing this. So listen, big moves shake. The Saints are making great moves. The Jarvis Landry signing of yesterday during the live stream was very positive. And then, of course, you look at what they did with the Tyrann Mathieu, the drafting, the signing of the draft picks, all but one of them, which is Alante Taylor. Pretty positive things going on in the Who Dat Nation. So welcome on, fam. Please feel free, as you coming into the live stream, please feel free to hit upon the like button. Hit the hell out the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, and by all means, share the show's link on your social media feed as well. So much love to the fam. In this one, fam, I'm not going to hold y'all very long. We're going to do a little breakdown here and cover some news, notes, and items, and go over the Jarvis Landry signing, which is one of the biggest things that happened as of recently. Of course, the Saints still looking for help in terms of the undrafted guys in a very competitive rookie minicamp. So I'd like to thank all the family members for chiming on up in this thing. Much love to all you guys. Appreciate you chiming in on a Saturday. Hope your weekend is doing pretty good. Mine is pretty chill. All right, so before we get into the news, notes, and items here, I'm going to play this little interview right here from ESPN, Adam Schefter and them, as they talk about some of the stuff that happened in terms of the black and gold and their takes on the black and gold. So let's hear what their spewing is of it, which is, you can't deny it anymore. Here it is.
He is headed to New Orleans. He becomes the latest Saints acquisition, Jarvis Landry going back home.
Mina, what's your reaction to this? Again, Jarvis Landry signing with the Saints. This was a big free agent, obviously a wide receiver. We were waiting to see where he was going to land, and now he lands in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's just amazing how was an incredible weakness for this group last season with Marquez Callaway, who I really like as their #1 wide receiver. Now he's #4 because they've gone so far out of their way to make improvement. Of course, Michael Thomas coming back, but also the trade-ups for Chris Olave in the draft, and now Landry. This is a stacked position group, and yet another indication that the Saints believe they can win now with Jameis Winston.
Yeah. Forget Tom Brady going back. It doesn't matter. He's going to Tampa Bay. They want something to say about it, do the New Orleans Saints. RG3, what do you think about this acquisition?
Oh, I mean, I think it's a beautiful job by the Saints organization. They're trying to get Jabo to go down there and eat some W's like he likes to do. So now he's got a receiving core that looks a lot different than the one he had last year.
Well, absolutely. And actually, before Jameis Winston got hurt, he was actually playing pretty good football. But to echo Mina's point, the Saints see an opening in the NFC. Look at all the moves, the acquisitions that the Saints have done, whether it be via free agency or the draft. The Saints are going for it right now. Mm-hmm. And again, when you look at the defense is going to be a top-shelf defense in the National Football League offensively. They've stacked the wide receiver room. They believe Jameis Winston can be a guy that if you can extrapolate what he did over that period of time before he had that ACL injury, they think that they can contend in the NFC and try to get to the Super Bowl this year.
Okay, so now we've talked about what this kind of looks like on paper, right, guys? Like now that we've talked about what this the quarterback's going to look like, the wide receiver room. But Mina, what is this offense going to look like now that you've had, 30 seconds to digest it?
Well, I think it's going to look different from, the last few seasons with Drew Brees under Sean Payton, although they do have some continuity, of course, with Pete Carmichael staying there, but really just because of the talent and the fact that Jameis Winston is going to push the ball downfield, which he will be able to do behind a still very good offensive line. And I don't want to rule another player out that we haven't mentioned. Alvin Kamara is going to benefit from the surfeit of talent at wide receiver. He struggled a lot last season at times because defenses were so keyed in on stopping him. Now he will have more opportunities to both run and catch the ball and get those great yards after the catch.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, you got a great point there. And I think what Damian talked about with how Jameis played last year before the injury, I'll take it even further. He didn't just protect the ball. He played at a high level. But now with these offensive threats at wide receiver, and you talk about Alvin Kamara benefiting like Mina talked about, he's actually going to be able to put up great numbers as well. So it won't just be that he's not throwing interceptions. He should be able to throw 2, 3, 4 touchdowns a game with this offense and that defense getting him the ball back with Cam Jordan menacing on that defensive front.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube for live streaming sports awesome, and premium content.
Isn't that pretty awesome, fam? That at the end of the day, even some of those people who are not obviously Saints people, but at some point, you can no longer deny the fact that the black and gold are swinging for the fences. We've said it here. We said it before the season was that the Saints, their aggressiveness during the offseason was proof positive that they were swinging for the fences. They wasn't taking those shots. And it's good to see some of these people understand that the Saints are definitely swinging for the fences because that's what we do. We're about championships. And not the fact that we believe, we know. And we knew that last year we had injuries and stuff that we had to overcome, but still won 9 games, went 9-8 despite all of the C-19 and the 54 plus lineup changes, which was an NFL record, by the way. So just to play a little bit of that for some of these people that's saying, "Oh man, this is the Saints have gotten the wide receivers." Yeah, we know, we knew this was going to happen. It was only a matter of time, to be honest with you, and it's fantastic. So there's no longer denying the Who Dat Nation. We coming for this thing. It is wide open. The NFC is wide open. Only really 2 or 3 teams that you could say that can play against a team as dominated what the Saints going to be in. And the only question is, do the Saints intensity match up with the Rivals in terms of their focus? Thank you, Michael. Michael says, Big Q, how much of not paying Drew Brees' big contract helped us land these new players? Good show, brother. Thank you, Michael, for your super chat. I think that even though they do still have some of Drew Brees' dead money on the books for this year, it don't come off totally until after this year. And you can, if you want verify that, you can go by way of Sport Track and Over the Cap. But Sport Track will show you the numbers that they still have the dead money that's on. Matter of fact, I'm on the time frame here, but you could check Sport Track as a reference here. That the fact that the Saints still have a little bit of Drew Brees money on the books, but you can see that I think it had a minimal impact in terms of what the Saints was going to do. Not paying Drew Brees is what you're saying, but it's a positive because you still pay Jameis Winston. I mean, Drew would have commanded what, $27 million? What was it, 20 plus mil for a contract? But the Saints were ready to foster out them big bucks for Deshaun Watson. They're about to break him off a big time contract, you know what I'm saying? Absorb what he had and then give him some more. So it to a degree, it does help not having to pay a quarterback 20 plus million annually. as we're paying Jameis Jameis with the 34 million, I think. I'm not 28 million. So you got Jameis at roughly 14 a year. And then that's Mickey Magic, which the first year will probably not be. It's not the same as the preceding years, as Mickey has him and Kai have the ability to push money down into contracts, even cut up signing bonuses over several years, create phantom deals to push the money into the future. So not paying Drew definitely helps, and not paying any quarterback 20 million plus could help. But then again, the Saints, the way they operate with the cap, it's very unique. That's why so many people want to have executives from the Saints to work for them, because, man, Mickey Loomis is something special when it comes down to managing of the books. And one of the family members asked McHugh, let's get one of them Dennises in there. I mean, those the Mickeys. Yeah. Talk to Dennis. All right. So much love to the fam. As we love Mickey Loomis, man. We always kind of mess with old, but yeah, he's fantastic, man, and some of the moves that he's making. But anyway, fam, yeah, I started the show off with that, opening it up, and let's look at this. And this was one of the things that happened yesterday. It's still a big move and shake. A lot of people still digesting the fact that the Saints did sign Jarvis Landry to a 1-year deal at up to $6 million, according to Sport Track and several NFL economic sites that were talking about his contract. It's mentioned in this article from CBS Sports. Landry is the second high-profile free agent to sign with New Orleans this month. And the fact that was so kind of excellent, that's so captivating about these two signings is these are two starters, by the way, that you have signed post-draft. Usually this happens prior to the draft. When you get these names, then it's a big excitement going into the draft, and then you come out the other side, and then it kind of teeters into the camps, whether it's the rookie or the minicamp, the training camp, and then it kind of just goes into that, and you'll get several low-key veteran signings and a couple of free agent guys, canned good players, as I call them, great value players. But this was totally different, and I think it's purposefully not done to the reality is. It's the mentality of the head coach, Dennis Allen. That's why I said we have to give him credit, because Dennis Allen's staff and what they're doing now thinks just like the Great Saint Think Tank. They really do. Like, we'll be pushing. Like last year, people was like, okay, I told people, well, Q, why we not getting any of these wide receivers? It was several different times we could have added wide receivers. The Giants had a guy that the Saints were looking at. They just didn't pull the trigger on them. There were several other wide receivers that could have came in and kind of helped boost the room, but Coach Payton believed in his wide receivers, which was fine because they performed admirably based on what was going on with the team. So, but this time around, Dennis Allen has no such qualms. He understands that competition is really like Rockefeller in his failed philosophies of monopolism. I don't like monopoly people. I really don't. I despise it. It destroys the economy if a handful of bastards got everything and then they could charge you whatever they want. So competition is king. It's not a sin. It is actually excellent. Competition is excellent, especially in the wide receiver room, because these players will push each other to become greater. So competition is great. And I think that's what you see from the black and gold here, and most in every room is it'll be competition of the highest abilities in all of these rooms, whether it's running back, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive line, whatever it may be. And you got to give Dennis Allen credit for creating competition, because the Saints, you can see they're a driven team, recognizing the fact that they didn't get to the playoffs, recognizing that they got to get back in the playoffs, recognizing that it's a handful of teams, really only 2 or 3 teams that could play with the Saints. Obviously, we're talking about the Rams. And really, outside of the Rams, who else you throwing at them? I mean, we'll face the Cardinals this year to see how great they are. The Seahawks have taken a step back, obviously. We don't see Denver. That's AFC. But in our conference, in our division, to be honest with you, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I don't think they're as good as a lot of people are indicating. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to take a step back in this thing. So I'm not really sold on Tampa Bay insofar, but they'll be probably your top competition. Both Carolina and Atlanta, from my perspective, will be more of teams trying to establish steps this year to get to the playoffs. Because like I said, I think about weeks 4 or 5, you'll start seeing Carolina and Atlanta put those young rookie quarterbacks in there. and they'll like Golden Corral for Carolina and Ritter for the Falcons, which I absolutely love Ritter. I think he's a terrific signing for them. And I like Corral too out of Ole Miss. So these young guys going to need opportunities and time to learn the system, so you don't want to put too much on them. But the Saints are built to win right now. That's how you got Tyrann Mathieu. He hung around here. He didn't sign. He had some machinations with other people, but he knew what he was going. He knew the Saints was going to sign him. And Jarvis Landry was out there trying to fill around. The Browns gave him a deal. He said no. Turned down the little deal that the Browns offered him. Baltimore was hanging around trying to find out, hey, could we get with you? And he said, nah, I'm going home. Because they realized it. And like I said, the Saints, these were two critical moves the Saints made, one on offense, one on defense. And both of these moves are impact veterans that you bringing on, Pro Bowlers, former Pro Bowlers, multiple year Pro Bowlers that's from the city that you bringing on post-draft. And it adds a whole nother excitement and veneer to the city, because it lets the Who Dat Nation family base know that we mean business and we about getting them chips. We know we got Cam Jordan on 2 or 3 years and Demario Davis and all these players. The Saints got a healthy mix of young talent underneath these veterans, and they have a severe opportunity to kind of gravitate the team forward using the older veteran players and the young guys lead them. So they got a good, healthy mix of talent moving into the future. So absolutely. This is, and then of course you got a quarterback with a chip on his shoulder. You got a wide receiver pissed off with a chip on his shoulder because everybody's saying that he don't deserve the money he got. He listened to all that. Most of the people say, well, I don't listen to none of that. I just turns it off. How you going to turn all that off? And you got all this kind of stuff going on. No, they use that stuff as motivation to drive them forward. So it's going to be fun. But anyway, let's get into this article. Thank you, Trey, for being a member of the channel for 18 months, my friend. ESPN can't flock with us ever. That well said, Trey. Thank you, brother. All right, and of course, fam, yesterday, Jarvis Landry signed with the Saints, 5-time Pro Bowl receiver headed to New Orleans. Such a huge signing. It represents so much. He will play out of the slot. He will be the best slot wide receiver you've ever had. He also provides insurance for Mike Thomas. If the Saints feel like they need to kind of take it slow with Mike Thomas, they could. If they feel that they need to, they don't have to rush him in. They can kind of, because we haven't heard him. They said that he looking good, but we don't know exactly if the Saints going to kind of ramp him up there slowly or say he good straight out the gate. We don't know that yet. But the reality is now you don't have to rush him. If you feel that you can give him time, you got insurance in Jarvis Landry there. So this is what this represents. And even too, if you look at the Emmanuel Sanders move, you say, okay, the Emmanuel Sanders move the Saints made a couple of years ago. This move kind of ones up that, in my opinion, because even though Emmanuel, no disrespect, he got them Super Bowls and, you know, he was fantastic. But, you know, Jarvis is a local dude. He's just phenomenal. And then, of course, I mean, he had what, like the third or fourth most receptions in receivers just several years ago, but prior to the injuries. So, I mean, he's 29 years of age. Man, the Saints, this is a blockbuster move. Both of them are the top. Both you put the Tyrann Mathieu and Jarvis Landry signings together. They were within what, a week of each other, something like that. You get Tyrann, people are excited, and then you get Jarvis. You know what? The next week, and the next thing you know, you have these are two starters, fam. These are two starters, one on the back and the defense, one in the offense that solve major issues. So absolutely, the Saints about to tear this goddamn place up. Ain't no doubt about it. Landry, the second high-profile free agent to sign with the Saints this month. Saints kicked off the month of May by signing free agent safety Tyrann Mathieu. The Saints are now signing 5-time Pro Bowler wide receiver Tyrann Mathieu to a 1-year deal that's worth up to $6 million, according to the NFL media. Landry broke the news on social media on Friday afternoon. He visited the Saints prior to the draft. New Orleans spent the first 2 first-round picks on former Ohio State receiver Chris Olave. The Saints have further bolstered their receiving core with the acquisition of Landry, a Pro Bowl performer during his time with the Dolphins and the Browns. He's 29 years of age and was a Pro Bowler in 3 of the 4 years with the Dolphins while helping the Dolphins capture a playoff berth in 2016. The former LSU Tiger was instrumental in the Browns' turnaround upon coming to Cleveland in 2018. A 2-time Pro Bowler with the Browns, Landry impact on the field and in the locker room helped Cleveland and the franchise 18-year-old playoff drought ended, 3 years after the franchise endured a 0-16 regular season. The sure-handed receiver caught touchdowns in both of the Browns games during the 2020 season. Thank you, Abram Muhammad, appreciate you for hitting that subscribe button, my brother. Appreciate you. Much love to you, Amram. And welcome to the Who Dat Nation. Great Saint Dank Tank in the Sports Coma. Much love, fam. So yes, indeed, Jarvis Landry, special, man. Knee injury along with Baker Mayfield's own injury woes led to the Landry posting career lows. He had 52 catches for 507 yards in the touchdown in 21. And in New Orleans, Landry will work alongside of Chris Olave and Michael Thomas, a two-time All-Pro himself who missed the entire 21 season due to injury. The Saints offense also includes Alvin Kamara, a Pro Bowl in each of the 5 seasons in New Orleans. Landry will catch passes from Jameis Winston, who led the Saints to a 5-2 record last season before an injury prematurely ended his season. More accurately, a dirty player reaching and pulling Jameis down from behind while he was scrambling ended Jameis Winston's season. I always like to throw that out there because that was like one of those injuries that you just hit the guy and then you just cracked his ribs or broke his arm. It just happened. This guy grabbed him around his nameplate and dragged him down, which is you shouldn't even be allowed to even touch that region around here because you can't do that. Oh, I ain't grab him. I grabbed it. Nah, you shouldn't be allowed to touch any region of a player's jersey like that and pull him down on his legs, tearing him up like that. So I always say that, man. Like people saying, well, he got hurt. No, it was a dirty play, man. Despite the loss of Winston, the Saints finished the 21 season with a 9-8 record while falling just short of the postseason. The Saints are surely hoping that their offseason acquisitions will result in a return. They ain't hoping for nothing, bro. Who wrote this damn thing here? What's the name of this guy? Brian Diardo, Brian Diardo, whatever. Let me tell you something, Brian. Bottom line, we ain't hoping for shit. It ain't nothing to deal with hope. When you make moves like this, you ain't hoping for nothing. When you are literally taking your destiny in your hands and you saying, I'm going to take it here. It's like if you starting off on a trip and you going somewhere. You heading to Disney World or to the King Memorial or somewhere else, wherever. Or to your mama's house or whatever. I hope I get to my mama house. No, you know that you're going to get to your mama house and you know you're going to get back. So this is a destination, the Saints, a destiny that they're taking into their own hands. And they're going to handle the business. They're going to take it. And they also realize Saints ain't scared of nothing. It's time. The time is now. We've been, I ain't going to say we've been wasting some time here, but the Saints, a couple of these moves here, the Saints didn't let money stop them. Remember, they were $80 million underneath over the cap, and they needed to get down in the black again to do it. They did all this stuff. This whole off season was almost like in season. The way every time you turn around, there was something going on with the black and gold. So, we got it was big. All right, let's move on to the next article, and this is from my good friends over at the Saints News Network, Mr. Kyle Mosley on the scoop. He has one called "The Saints Shrewdly Build a Potent Offense and are contenders for the 2022 season." Perfect segue when we be talking about the Saints seeing or the vision, because before you can even have it, you got to see it. The Saints see themselves as a championship team. Jameis Winston is the quarterback that everybody talking crap on and 30 interceptions and this and just hating on him. The Saints, Michael Thomas, oh, he ain't no good. He don't deserve the money. And most of this type of stuff coming from people inside the Who Dat Nation. I've heard it all. People tell me, no, Q, you really don't deserve that money. Oh, but you'll give it to, but when Julio got his money, they wasn't pitching a you-know-what about it. Or when DeAndre Hopkins got his money, he cheating with steroids. You tell me when Mike Thomas got caught with that. You hear me? He out here cheating with steroids. His response was, I see you in 6 games. I'm busted like a son of a gun. You listen. I'm busted like a son of a gun. Yeah, I just see you in 6 games. Nah, man, listen, bro. The bottom line is those guys are great in their own light, and right. But listen, none of them ever broke the individual. The coup de grace or the Super Bowl trophy type award for an individual performance by a wide receiver is that single catch record. That's one of the biggest. If you're a wide receiver in the NFL and you're a starter, one of your key goals if you want to be great is to get that catch record that stood for 15 plus years after the great Marvin Harrison, who played with the Colts and Peyton Manning for the many moons ago, set. And it's set up there for a long time. And it's such an exclusive, awesome record that all the fantastic wide receivers that came never owned that record. some of the wide receivers you can think about in the Hall of Fame never possessed such a record, but it's one of the tops up there. And Michael Thomas broke that record the year after he got paid? So, I mean, listen, the bottom line is that the guy always played with a chip on his shoulder forever, all the time. When he outperformed all of the wide receivers that was drafted ahead of him in the year that he was drafted, when it was in the second round, the first round wide receivers, most of them are bums. You know, most of them somewhere parking cars or cleaning up houses or somewhere or whatever. But he was the one with his mentality, came in there and he was able to stay the course. He only knows one frame of reference in terms of how he sinks in. And that, my friend, is why he is the great Mike Thomas, can't guard Mike. He don't have a 40-40-0 or 4-3-1 or 4-4 whatever. He don't have none of that. But what he will do is beat your ass in the first 5 yards. What he will do is defeat you as soon as he come out the block and won't let you attach to him. I remember your boy, what's his name? Played for the Minnesota Vikings. His name escapes me. He was there. Xavier Rhodes, that's who his name. Xavier Rhodes was at that time a very good cornerback and one of the tops in the league. Michael Thomas abused that man when they played that. And Rhodes was a very physical cornerback, which he'll put his hands on. He was a big guy, put his hands on you and try to, muscle you a bit. And Mike Thomas was throwing him all around and got I said, after that, the mystique of whatever Xavier Rhodes was, he was Rhodes kill after that. That's what Mike Thomas did to his ass. He was Rhodes kill after that. But it's the chips on the shoulders from guys like Jameis, guys like Michael Thomas. Those type of guys, you got to watch out for those guys because that's the greatness, the mindset, the drive to be great. And they understand that the Saints, this is Super Bowl time. Cam understand it. DeMario Davis understand it. All of the playoff victories, all of the regular season victories don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. That's what I was saying to the family members because that's how the champions think. Champions think that way. They think that way. Regular season and playoff victories mean nothing if you're not hosting up the Lombardi, if you're not putting the trophy up at the end of the year. It means nothing to some of the greats. That's what Cam been saying. That's what DeMario been saying, is that they're not hosting up the Super Bowl trophy at the end of the year when it starts in the offseason and the training, and at the end of the year, the best, the greatest host up that Lombardi. And that's what they do. It's been a long time since the Saints hosted up the Lombardi. It's been 2009. It's been well over 10 plus years since we hosted up the Lombardi. It's time for the Who Dat Nation and the great Saint think tank to hold that Lombardi up and hoist it up again and be champions again. That's what the hell this is about. Let's get into it here from Kyle Mosley. He says New Orleans has quietly and shrewdly built a potent and contending offense via free agency and the draft. And he can't pinpoints offense because he knows defense, we already there. So he starts with Jameis Winston's social media handle is Jabu wins. We know that. Winning is the mission, and it's difficult to see why Jameis Winston and the Saints cannot win with the weapons truly assembled by, they cannot win, he says, cannot win with the weapons truly assembled by Mickey Loomis. Why it's difficult enough for you to see why they can't. Okay, not that they can't. After 1 year deal and approximately $6 million to sign the 5-time Pro Bowler Jarvis Landry, New Orleans is potent on offense, at least on paper. Good point there. One of the most critical factors is that Jameis will have help in 2022. Here's the list. Alvin Kamara, the 21 receptions leader. Thank you. Appreciate you, Scrooge. Scrooge McDucky. Scrooge McDucky 7. Thank you. All right. Appreciate you. All right. Alvin Kamara, a 21 receptions leader. Michael Thomas, the 2016-2019 receptions leader. Jarvis Landry, the 2014-2017 Dolphins 2018-2022 Browns reception leader. And for those who watched saying Jarvis Landry will watch, he caught more passes than the Saints last year in terms of their wide receiver core with 54. Keep telling your ass that because the reality is you ain't got no bum here. This guy is a player. He ain't a 4-4 guy, but he catches everything you throw to him, and he will be an absolute monster in the slot. Now, what does it mean to the rest of your rotation? We just talk about those guys. You also have Chris Olave, one of the top wide receivers in this draft, who's also a very smooth route runner, can catch everything and then take the top off the defense for you. It's also a Marquez Callaway, who was pretty fantastic for you. He caught 40-plus balls for you last year. Tall wide receiver, was really good at attacking the ball at its highest point. And those 50-50 balls Marquez comes down with, he also has a good degree of speed. And then the Saints kind of added Traquan Smith, who's the X factor to a degree. And I say X factor because at one point in time, Coach Payton thought that Traquan Smith could be the future of the wide receiver position. Well, his rookie deal ran out. The Saints brought him back on an extremely cheap deal, 2-year deal with the second year as an option. So they're really not missing up with Traquan. So if injuries do occur or C-19 happens, you have a guy that's familiar with the system that could possibly come in and help you. And there's no pressure on Traquan Smith to do anything. So, I mean, that's a bonus. And in that role, I can see why he's there. And Deontay Harty. Now, remember formerly Deontay Harris, who changed his name to Harty to honor the stepped-up father. Not the stepfather. You heard that? The stepped-up father. The dude that stepped up when the other dude wouldn't. The other dude didn't handle his business. The guy that stepped up father. So, I mean, he honored him by taking on his title and his name. So, I mean, but Deontay Harty was also a person that missed games because of the suspension. So his production could have been a lot more than what it was. You get that? So, I mean, at the end of the day, then there's LaJordan Humphrey. I can't not mention LaJordan Humphrey and a great deal of other talented undrafted wide receivers that's there that'll be fighting for opportunities to kind of get there. It'll be stiff, but fighting for opportunities on the practice squad. So it'll be fun watching that occur. So anyway, Dennis Allen has what many coaches would say is a good problem because he will have options. Pete Carmichael's playbook will be loaded, provided Thomas, Landry, Olave, and Kamara are available per game. By the time training camp ends, assessing who will be on the 53-man roster and practice squad will boil down to performance and health. Now, Landry's 29, played 12 contests for the Browns in 2022. He had an MCL injury and was limited to 52 catches, 570 yards, and 2 touchdowns, all career lows. Still, that's career lows now. And his last team's production eclipsed the Saints wide receiver leader Marcus Callaway, who had 46, as I mentioned. Nonetheless, we must commend Mickey. Appreciate the love. Must commend Mickey Loomis and the New Orleans front office on their strategy, ability to free up cap space, re-signing key players, maneuvering through free agency, creating a contending team. It did a remarkable job. We talked about that. And that was all after the fact that Coach Payton stepped away and bedazzled the Who Dat Nation, including myself. So, I mean, this was amazing. This was simply amazing, all at the same time. So, yeah, they did. That's why I keep saying Dennis Allen deserves, because it's his coming into this. He had big shoes to step into, and he came into this aggressive. And he had, like he said, I've been here for 12 years. I mean, did anything change, Dennis? Well, I went to the office a couple of times, but I'm fine now. I've been here for 12 years, guys. I'm not exactly, new to the room. I've been here. Most of you reporter guys, I know. So, I mean, saying that, saying, okay, I've been here for 12 years, you do realize that, right? You do realize that I know what the problem was with the offense. How? Because I was kicking the offense ass for the last couple of years as defensive coordinator. So I know if they had some wide receiver speed over here and the guy here, there'll be something awesome. There'll be something. So, I mean, he had the inside baseball. He knew exactly what was going on. And, of course, when Coach Payton was winding down, getting ready to go, Dennis Allen stepped in and knew exactly what he needed to do to fix the squad. And it wasn't much. Like we said, to tool the team. Retool, not tear down, but retool the team. And the Saints did it masterfully. That's why I got to give great credit to Dennis Allen, his aggressiveness, because he got Mickey going. Because it was Dennis Allen that was driving this thing, trying to get all the players that he could possibly get to get the Saints to the chip. You hear what I'm saying? He wants the chip. And at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to let, when Dennis Allen win that championship, I won't let people stand up here and talk that shit talking about Dennis Allen won it, but he won it with Sean Payton's team. Get your ass out of here with that. We're not playing that. That man stepped away. And like I asked the family members when he stepped away, I say, listen, when he stepped away, if you knew that in 2 years that you'll be playing for a Super Bowl, would you step away? You say, oh, no, hell no. Who does that? Except for somebody that's facing some type of really extreme personal tragedy or some health issue, they move away. None was the case at all with Coach Payton. So obviously he's seen the Saints as a team that was removed from the Super Bowl window. Do you hear what I'm saying? Did you hear what I say? Because you would not leave the situation if you felt that they're within a 2-year window of winning a championship. So he obviously felt that they were a lot farther out for you to contemplate leaving to go to another team who he might feel is closer to the championship. Hear me? Hear me. Hear me on that. Hear me. Hear me. All right. So anyway, nonetheless, we must commend Mickey Loomis in the front office. What they did, signing Tyrann Mathieu and Jarvis Landry, were strokes of brilliance for the team players and the hometown family members, which is just masterful. Like I said, after the draft, directly after the draft, you get both of these guys that will have a severe impact, offense and defense, Pro Bowlers in the prime of their careers, and you get them on cheap contracts. You got this man for $6 million. There were reports saying that he was out there for $20 million. Obviously, that wasn't the case, which, one of the family members and a couple of reports were saying that was something that was spread by his previous agent, who he then fired. And he's like, his man won't $20, impossible. He won't $20 million a year. Nah, he just knows where he wants. The Saints got him on a 1-year prove-it deal at $6 million. He already said he wants a long-term deal, so this could be a case where he can work maybe on a second contract, work his way into this thing. Okay? And then outside, you see in the contract on Tyrann Mathieu, both of these contracts were agreeable. I'm just saying, you in the month of May, after the draft, fantastic. Never seen anything like it. Never. Anyway, that's a bit of it on Jarvis. And thank you, Kyle did a fantastic job on this article over there at Saints News Network. Y'all go over there and share those guys' articles. You know, always send the family over there to do it. So, all right, Richard, thank you, Richard. Richard Bernard says, respect to the fam, respect to you, brother Richard. Thank you for your super chat, my friend, and welcome on into the stream. Much love. All right, who that to the rest of the fam? Appreciate y'all being here, man, as well. Kev says, what you say that, GM Kev? Kev says, Kuiper says something about we still got unfinished, we still got questions. I would not say questions, more so than I would say there are a few things the Saints are left to do. Yes. Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Like I think Quan Alexander is the thing they got to get him, and I think that's coming soon. We still have to kind of get our second round draft pick rookie under contract, Alontae Taylor, but all this stuff will be relatively done before training camp starts. You'll have Quan Alexander under contract. You'll have Alontae Taylor under contract, and you'll have several other veterans that'll be brought in to help out in terms of the tight end room, which a lot of people are big on some of the undrafted guys we have. I'm probably one of the in the minority in terms of people who believe that Adam Troutman, our third round draft pick of several years ago, will step up and become what we think he could be. I think this will be the year where we see him in his third year make an impact and have a positive impact in the tight end room. That's just what I feel about it. He had a tough sophomore year. First year he didn't really play that much. He was really behind the rest of the veteran tight ends, but this time around with the experience and what he go through, I think you'll see a better tight end in Adam Troutman. So get a kid some slack on that. And of course, everything else will be figured out in training camp. And I did hear what Dennis Allen talked about when he said that they're going to start pinning out at the left tackle position. I'm not a fan of that, and I'm dead set against that bullshit. I'm just going to keep it real, which is the only thing that I didn't hit, that I didn't like, that I heard when Dennis Allen said that. And he did say in that comment that he would, but they're interchangeable. If we need to, whatever. And then it's also James Hurst. So he kind of answered it a little way and kind of got out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had to replay it several times when he was saying it, because it didn't sound right when he was saying it. And you knew that, listen, it's a recipe. Listen, I know Pinion's good, but I'm not trusting my quarterback who's coming off a major injury to an offensive lineman, and put him at the blind side position. I think that's wrong. You got Ramczyk there. Ramczyk played left tackle in college. Move him over there. You need somebody that can protect the quarterback's blind side. You don't need a rookie doing that. It's almost like we have an issue with when you had Cesar Ruiz, who's playing the guard position, And then the guy, Contavious Street, who's on the team now, goes past him, and then he didn't. Cesar Ruiz wasn't even in the. He would have to literally. I mean, he couldn't even grab the dude or even tackle him. That's how bad Contavious beat him. And just Kai Bosch, Drew just smashed them all over. Just Drew got up all crunched up. He just a stale bag of corn chips. That's what they did to Drew. Crunched them all up. Poor Drew. He wasn't never the same after that moment. But I'm just saying that's what happens. You can't trust that now, unless the kid's Tony Buselli, which I severely doubt. He's good, but he got a lot of issues. But you need to have your best offensive tackle there protecting Jameis Winston's blind side. So he did say they'll start out that way, but necessarily not finish that way. You can't do that. I'm not taking any chances. Too much is riding on the health of Jameis Winston. You got to give him the best protection, meaning put that fucking right. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'll be getting upset about it because you have to be able to protect the quarterback's blind side with your best lineman. That man making top pay. Move him over there to protect his blind side. Do not put a rookie offensive lineman. I said this shit last year. It's the same thing about Cesar Ruiz last year. Same stuff about Ruiz last year. Don't put Ruiz out there no guard because he got him hurt. So I mean, it crunched him up. So this time around, we got to be smart about our delegation of what we doing with these offensive linemen, man, for real. Don't put no rookie on Jameis's blind side. What's wrong with you? He just came off an injury. Anyway, before I get upset about it, man, let's just keep it moving, man. But anyway, that's a couple of articles that I wanted to cover. We started by playing a Dennis Allen, where he spoke about a lot of positive stuff and in the acquisition, some of the players there. We also talked about the signing of Jarvis Landry, which is astronomical. Let me put on there the depth chart right here, as you can see. So you can see they updated the depth chart. I showed some of this last night on the Friday stream. You see Mike Thomas is at the top there, Chris Olave. Then you see Jarvis Landry as a slot wide receiver there. It's absolutely phenomenal. Then in the second tier, you see guys like Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harty. They got Traquan Smith. So the Saints do have depth at the position. Now, I was asking for, maybe a guy like Keelan Cole, but Keelan Cole has been signed. He signed 2 days ago. I think he with the Raiders now. I want to say Keelan Cole signed with the Raiders, and they got him on his depth chart. Matter of fact, let me see, because I was asking about Keelan Cole. I was like, yeah, we might have to bring him in, but he's no longer available. Let me see here. I want to say he with the Raiders. Let me see here. Give me just a second, fam. Well, yeah, he's one of those under the signings that somebody else picked up. So give me just a second. Let me see if I can find him here. Yeah, there it is. Yep, there he is. I already got him highlighted. Yep, Keelan Cole's already gone. The Raiders got him. But anyway, yes, this is the depth chart right here. But I mean, you might bring in some guys, but the reality is, look what the Saints have here, man. Even if you foster to all of the other stuff the Saints have, you go back and you look, there are a lot of talent here. Marquez Callaway, Traquan Smith, Deontay Harty, and then you got Quan Baker, last year's 7th-round pick behind Easop Winston, who did a good job in relief of Deontay Harty. And then Kirk Merritt's kind of a guy on that with Jalen McCleskey, and then Jawan Dixon, DeJohn Dixon from the local college, and then Rashid Shaheed, the great return man out of college that a lot of people like a lot. So the Saints have a great deal of depth behind it, and a lot of these guys they're not going to make the active roster, but you'll have good production guys and versatile guys that can help you out on that practice squad. And if injuries occur, we can kind of move these guys in to keep things going. Outside of that, wide receiver, this is terrific. I don't know if you got the three. I think the Saints more than likely have the 3 best wide receivers on paper right now. We know what Jarvis Landry can do. We know what Michael Thomas could do. We still yet don't know what Chris Olave is going to produce, but based on how we have Michael Thomas with his ability to acclimate players in terms of what he'll do for Chris Olave, who's already mentoring to a degree. He's already gotten Chris Olave acclimated to a degree. They're already working out together. He's teaching them the game, and I think it's really positive and a good stratagem by Dennis Allen when he took that trip out to Cali to meet with Mike Thomas and asked Mike, listen, we with you, because it was the rumor saying the Saints were going to trade him. He went out there and squelched all that, reassured Michael Thomas that he was a part of the team under his administration. He also had made it good with Michael Thomas, whatever. And then during the draft, you know, a lot of that Chris Olave was because of Mike Thomas, because Mike wanted him on the team. And when you start wide receiver, say, hey, listen, we need a wide receiver here. I like this kid. He's up in the draft. He's from Ohio State. You know, can we make that work? That happens. And that happened. That's why the Saints say, you know what, to make Mike happy, bring harmony to the wide receiver room. Let's get this kid. And it was a good thing. And now you got Jarvis there as well. I mean, the Saints on paper, until we see them on the field, man, they got the best 3 wide receivers out there, and we're going to be killing the game. That's all I got to tell you. Doug Marrone helps the offensive line shape up. Adam Trautman is a question, but I think Trautman steps up. Taysom's in that room. They'll have a role for him, and a lot of good depth underneath. Now, they did release some guys. Dylan Solner and Ethan Wolf got released because they're really big on Lucas Krall. So you don't have to worry about Dylan Solner and Ethan Wolf, because both of those practice squad tight ends got cut. So, you know, the Saints will bring on somebody else. But Nick Vanette's the veteran of the room. He got to step up. Jawan Johnson, I love Jawan Johnson. I think he's fantastic. For whatever reason, last year, Jawan just disappeared. Remember that? Coach Payton there was asking, what's up with Jawan Johnson? Well, we just needed somebody for the special teams. For like 4 or 5 games, Coach, the guy was catching touchdowns he just disappeared. No really good reason why he wasn't using them. I was like, what's going on here? Where's Jawan Johnson? He wasn't on any injury list. Or we just deactivate him because we need practice, special teamers. I was like, what are you talking about? This guy is a huge, he catch touchdowns for you in the red zone. What you talking about? What you need? But anyway, it just wasn't one of those things. And of course, Jameis Winston's there. Andy Dalton's his backup in case something happened. Book behind him. And the next big question is Kamara. What happens with Kamara when it comes around? Well, Alvin Kamara, we'll just figure it out. But I know at some point in time, even if it's a settlement, we know that more than likely Goodell's going to pass punishment down on him, and he going to hit him up hard. And that's what it is. And if you don't want Goodell to punish you, then don't do that crap. You know, it's just the guy called him up. But you got to understand, you're a mark. You're not G out here. If you out here walking around at 5 o'clock in the morning at the casino, that's a bad look right there. 5 o'clock in the morning, bro. I'm not saying you can't do but you got to understand, man. That's why you don't be doing shit like that, because they be out there like that. And you just a world-class chump. That guy hit you, he going to hit you big too. He going to hit you big. He got you. And, you know, and you got to settle with him. You got to break them all. You know, it's just an expensive lesson for why you shouldn't be out there like that. Just you got to pay. I ain't paying. I ain't do shit. But anyway, yeah, you got to find insurance for Kamara. Mark Ingram still there. Tony Jones Jr. A lot of people sleeping on Tony Jones because he has some injury concerns, but Tony Jones got to keep it straight. I love what he can bring to the table. He got to stand strong in there. You got to stay healthy, and he got to contribute. Dwayne Washington is a guy that they brought back because of his special teams acumen. But really, if it was a fair opportunity for guys to have a shot at more reps under Pete Carmichael, then Dwayne Washington should be given more opportunities to be a runner, because he's nothing. He's just like a bootleg Latavius Murray, runs the same way. KT, thank you, bro. He says, what game do you think Kamara passed Colston for that TD record? 5 from tying, 6 setting. I don't know, KT. I don't know. It's it's gonna probably be later on in the year. Then again, it's based on when the punishment comes from the NFL, and rightfully so. See, we can get mad at Goodell, but Goodell ain't told him to go out there at 5 o'clock in the morning to that goddamn casino, and then start stumping on the guy out there. And a guy was obviously trying to get money out of him. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But that's hard. That's a tough one, KT. Thank you for your super chat, because I don't know when the boom gonna come from the NFL. If Goodell says, look, once we find out, because what is it set for, August? I think it's August now when it, so they just kept pushing it back. I'm like, what the hell are they pushing it back for? What defense do you have? You busted. So I'm thinking it's like a lot of family members believe it's a settlement thing that they working out with the man, and once they settle, then it is what it is. But that won't stop Goodell from issuing punishment regardless of whatever it is, because he violated. You know, Goodell ain't mind control him to violate. He did it on his own, you know, whatever. So It's hard to call that, bro, because you don't know if the boom gonna come from the NFL office early in the year or if it's gonna come in the middle. You know, I don't know how to even say that. So, I mean, but 5 or 6 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns from him, I don't know. But at some point, you got to believe it before week 18. At some point, you know, you want him to see him get that. So I think he'll get it, but more than likely, probably somewhere toward the tail end of the season, to be honest with you. Because it's hard to call it because you don't know when the discipline coming. Thank you for your super chat, bro. Then also the running back situation, Ingram, Tony Jones, Dwayne Washington, and Abram Smith, who a lot of people are really big on. They've been going back looking at footage of Abram Smith. The fact that the Saints really like him because he was a former linebacker there who can help out on special teams when he's out there playing special teams, hitting people. Then he comes in, he can help out. So it's a very unique skill set that Abram Smith brings, and the Saints do. And Dennis Allen likes his running style, very physical runner that runs real good inside the tackle. He ain't really big on speed, but the guy has everything else. You know what I'm saying? He's a smart guy. So we'll see. And I think that the Saints will add another back when we get close to training camp, maybe a veteran of some sort, or maybe a scat back or something. I wouldn't be mad at what's the guy from Denver y'all was saying about the little shorter back from Denver. I wouldn't be mad about somebody like that can come in and probably help the black and gold in the running back room. And of course, I would like a veteran tight end to come in and compete too, because Nick Vannett ain't it to me. You know, so outside of that, the offense looks terrific. We already know what the defense looks like, but a lot of people had the questions about the Saints and their offense, and the Saints are not done yet. We still have some moves and some stuff that we have to take care of. I think the biggest thing we have left to do is to get Quan Alexander under contract, and also we have to be able to get Alante Taylor, our safety, second-round draft pick, under contract. All right, so anyway, let's keep it going here, man. JT says, Q, the same thing happen all the time when they tell Coach Payton something he don't like. You're in the doghouse. Jawan Johnson, Latavius Murray, Marquis, others running backs got cut. Yeah, remember the famous story of the linebacker that we got from the Denver Broncos? I forgot the man name. And he had a conversation with Coach Payton, and Coach Payton, y'all remember, Coach Payton won't play with you, man. See, that's something that a lot of people didn't realize. Like with Coach Payton, he ain't play with you. That's why he had a lot of the media people on a leash, and they know that. They know that Coach Payton had a lot of the media people. They refused. They were scared to ask some tough questions. Y'all know that because we was pushing at them people for years to ask the questions, you know. And he just at sometimes he'll give it to you, and sometimes he won't. Like he treated that female reporter. I forgot her name, but he treated her like crap, asking her, talking to her. Remember that? And I'm like, damn, y'all gonna let her just handle up? Yeah, you on your own. You should know better to talk to Coach Payton like that. And then the next son bitch asks him about what his favorite ice cream is or what his favorite snowball flavor is. Oh, but I'm just saying, man, at the end of the day, that, yeah, Coach Payton had a doghouse. He had it. He would put your ass in that doghouse. Yes. Oh, yeah, he would. He would put you in that doghouse. Yeah. Yeah, and I heard about, I hear you, L saying that he has a concussion. Yeah, but that wasn't the whole season, though, Playboy. Jawan Johnson was there. And then on top of that, you will see, we covered it every show. And you met what? Around a couple of games, he'd show up on that list. And you were supposed to report all those injuries. As a matter of fact, a team got hit up for that not too long ago. They got hit up by the NFL office for underreporting injuries because they want the injury list because it impacts the betting line for Vegas. So with all this betting, trying to get everybody to become degenerate gamblers, now we getting to a point where they really serious about the injury list. They want to know the inactives because it impacts the bottom line because you know who run this thing, right? So at the end of the day, we knew that he would dispel, like, hold on here. But he never mentioned it. And when we had shows covering it, he would say, yeah, I just wanted somebody. He ain't mentioned no injury. He said, yeah, I just wanted somebody that could play on special teams. Remember that? And that was 3 straight games that you didn't see him because of that line. They asked him, where's Jawan Johnson playing? Well, we just needed some help on special teams. What? Really? Huh. And then he just disappeared. But this is a guy who was in there blocking. This is a guy in there catching touchdowns for you. You get in Coach Payton's doghouse. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot who the guy was they signed him as a linebacker. Y'all probably remember the man's name. Y'all put it in the chat. Yeah, he was a linebacker. The man didn't even get through a week of practices. I think a couple days later he was gone, or 2 days later he was gone. What was the guy's name, fam? He was a linebacker. This happened 2 years ago, I want to say. 2 years ago. Y'all put that shit in the chat. There was a linebacker here that got on Coach Payton's, what was the guy's name, man? He was from Denver. I wanted to say he went to Denver after he left here. I forgot what the guy's name is. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Yeah, there you go. Bradham. That's him, Kevin. Kevin, yeah, Nigel Bradham. That's his name. Y'all remember Nigel Bradham? Put one in the chat if you remember Nigel Bradham. Put one in the chat if you remember Nigel Bradham. He came from the Eagles. He came from the Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all remember Nigel Bradham? Put one in the chat. That was a clear case. One of the most supreme cases of Coach Payton's doghouse was Nigel Bradham. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? All right. I'm trying to tell you. I mean, it's I play yeah, see, they remember him. AJ, thank you, and all the fam. Oh, yeah. That was a supreme case because it was like, they asked the play, well, they signed him and everybody was like, yeah, man, we like this dude. This dude gonna bring the boom at the linebacker position. Couple days it was, he was released. And people was like, what's up with that? And what was Coach Payton's response? Because we played it on the show. So it's so many shows I can't remember at all. But his response, it was, and people knew it was like, man, he crossed Payton because Coach Payton wasn't playing him. Like, I think he had him as a backup and he was saying, Coach Payton could let me get some more reps here. He was asking for more reps. And then Payton got him up out of there, man. You ain't gonna be questioning me about no reps. You get what I give you. One of them type of deals, and boom, he was gone. Just like that. So yeah, you can't play it. Then Mike Bell remember Mike Bell? Mike Bell was another one that Payton got in Coach Payton doghouse. Mike Bell was running his ass off, then he kind of disappeared. And he got mad at him because of the cleats. Remember that? I remember all them little incidents. It was the cleats. Coach Payton told him, listen, you gonna put some cleats on. We went out here, and then Mike Bell went to the game. I think it was against Miami or one of the teams. We was outdoors. It was raining, and Mike kept slipping with his cleats on, right? So Coach Payton told him, go get some cleats. Coach Payton ain't playing it. After that, Mike Bell ain't playing. He ain't played, man. Coach Payton ain't played when it came. You was in that doghouse. You might as well tell Coach Payton, listen, bro, I'm up out of here. Just tear my contract up. I appreciate the opportunity. Let me get the hell up out of here. The only person made it out of Coach Payton doghouse that I remember is Mark Ingram. But Mark Ingram got into it with Coach Payton. He fussed at him. Remember that? And he didn't play for a little bit. I remember it's time when Mark Ingram fussed at Coach Payton. And they was going back and forth over, what was it? Something that had occurred. Y'all probably remember it. But I remember it was fumbling issues because he took his job away because Mark Ingram kept fumbling and he gave it to Hightower. Y'all remember that? And Hightower was tearing it up. Because Ingram was benched behind Hightower for 2 or 3 games? And then ultimately, Coach Payton kind of worked him back up into that thing again. So, man, let me tell you something. Yeah, Coach Payton was serious with them doghouses, man. He had a doghouse now. He did it with the reporters too. Them reporters, you couldn't ask him no question like, why are you calling these plays, Coach Payton? It's supposed to be Carmichael. There was one time I remember a reporter asked him that, man, one time, maybe twice in his entire tenure when he was here. What was that? And that was far and few in between, but they knew not to challenge him because you might get your goddamn press badge. But yeah. So I mean, it was something else, man. Yeah. Was it Hamilton? He said Lindell. Well, it wasn't Lindell Hamilton, that took. Well, you might be thinking of a different case, but I remember it was Hightower that took his job away because Mark Ingram had he had a game where he had 2 fumbles, I think it was, in that game. And he just took his job away. Hightower was running his ass off too. He shouldn't have never lost it, but that pissed off Mark Ingram. He knew how to drive him. It pissed off Ingram. Ingram came back and was really winning it then. But anyway, let me recap, fam. We're gonna go over it. We talked about the Dennis Allen rookie minicamp situation. We played that interview with Dennis Allen, talked about several different players and circumstances and dealing with the team. It was very insightful. The fact that the Saints have a competition going on in the training, the rookie minicamp, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tomorrow's the last day. Saints Shrewdly, we talked about the Jarvis Landry, recap that thing that happened last night. We also mentioned this segued us right into Kyle Mosley, Saints Shrewdly, Bill's potent offense article, which was well done. Thank you, Kyle, for that. And of course, that gave us into the unofficial depth chart, which we covered most of the offense, because the idea is focus on the Saints offense. We already know what the defense is going to do. It'll be completed by the signing of Quan Alexander, which I think will happen, but at least before training camp. But also the other signings, and we'll get a lot of this stuff done moving forward. But the Saints are a team that they're starting to pay attention on. They recognize it, even though you should have known it. But some people, they just don't see it until you see it before they do. That's just perspective. It's just how it goes. Saints ready. This a chip roster. This is a championship roster. Of course we're not playing no games, and we ain't hoping for nothing. We gonna take it. You ain't gonna hope they lose. No, we gonna beat you. We don't hope the Saints gonna lose to hope the Saints win against that. No, we gonna beat you. Ain't none of that hope stuff. We gonna beat your ass. Ain't no doubt about it. We gonna take the championship. How about that? This is a destiny. It's about champions, and champions don't get up there and hope for nothing. I hope I beat. Imagine if you training a boxer, a fighter. You his trainer, and you're in his corner, and this guy gets up, and the first thing he says when he steps into the ring with the other fighter and looks at him eye to eye, says, I hope I can beat that guy. You know what? Is you gonna turn around and look and say, you know what? We in for a long night. No, hope ain't got nothing to do with this, man. This is a thing of destiny. You gonna take it. You got to take it. That's how it is. You got to beat these guys. You got to take it from them because they're not going to surrender nothing. You got to take it. That will make the champion. The champion understands that. And the Saints mentality as a whole, with all this talent, it's a piss. I kept telling family, I said, this is a pissed off team here, fam. These guys are pissed off. They pissed off because we didn't get to the playoffs last year. They pissed off because of all of the bull crap that they're hearing from the national press, that they're not even a playoff team. They pissed off because people keep putting Tampa Bay up there in front of them, and we beat the hell out of Tampa Bay. The only time Tampa Bay won anything is when we gave the game up to them. We beat them by double figures and just had 4 straight turnovers. I mean, come on, man. Who does that? But at the end of the day, I'm saying it's a pissed offness, especially from them, but it's really originated from the grassroots of the Who Dat Nation, the Black and Gold, the Great Saint Think Tank, and others that understand that it's been since 2009 since we had a championship. God damn it. It's been 2009 since we had a championship. And we had all these fantastic years where we were top 3 in the offense and top 10 with the defense, and we couldn't get no championship. We couldn't win nobody, couldn't beat nobody. That's what's going on right here. That's what the pissed offness is coming from, as opposed to people trying to appease you by telling you, at least you got the one you got. At least you bucking their eyes and shit. No, it ain't about that. It's champion mentality means that every year we're going to do whatever it takes to win. That's within the rules. You got me? So at the end of the day, that's where it's coming from, the pissed offness, understanding that we've underwhelmed insofar as winning championships, especially since the year of 2009 when we won a Super Bowl for the very first time. When that happened, it changed the dynamic forever for the Who Dat Nation, which means that we are champions. And as champions, you have to be the part. You have to play the part. You have to live up to the part. So that's what it is. So that's where it's coming from. Anyway, that'll do it for the show, fam. I'd like to thank y'all for chiming in on this sucker, man. Much love to the Great Saint. Thank you. And all y'all guys for being here. It's 300 plus of us in here. Please hit the like button. If you hadn't hit it, hit the hell out of the goddamn like button for a Super Bowl, man. You hear me? That's what this is about, family. That's what it's about. And it's like me and how I've been talking about it for what, 7, 8, almost, I don't know how many. But I'm just listening. I'm going to tell you that I remember that stuff. And I understand. I was like, listen, this is time, and it's the mentality of with Dennis Allen and the rest of the people saying, you know what? It's been since 2009 the Saints hoisted the trophy. What's stopping us? We got the money. We get what's stopping us? We got the, well, yeah. When the national people say, well, you don't have Coach Payton, who cares? We got his philosophy. We got his guy. His #1 acolyte. in the building. We got his player. The players that from the previous administration, he didn't obviously feel like he could win with these guys. I can't win with those guys, so I would go somewhere else. So I mean, if that's the case, go talk about it, come back. But at whatever the reference is, he didn't see you as a Super Bowl team, at least far off, to the point where you step away to go somewhere else, which is no problem. But you miscalculated. And we said that. These guys move like you think. They drafted like you think they should have. They got Trevor Siemian in there. Trevor Penning. Trevor Penning in there. They got Chris Olave. And many mock drafts had those same two players going to the Saints. Many of those. Now, it changed as you went further down. But the reality is a lot of people had. So the point is they think like you do. You went out and got 2 impact LSU guys in the prime of their careers after the draft. That Peyton would have never done that. He'd never done that. He would never done that. Thank you, NO Saints 504. Much love, fam. Thank you for smashing on that like button. But I'm just keeping the trill in the buck. It's the reason why the Saints are behaving this way. Thank you, said gaming in the building. Much love. But this is the reality that we face with now, is that the New Orleans Saints, this is a Super Bowl team right here. You see, you get me? This is a Super Bowl team right here. They want the championship. They want it. Not asking them, can y'all give us the? Nah, they want it, and they gonna go and take it. So anyway, that'll do it for that. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for all the new family members that hit the subscribe button. Hit over 300 of us. Smash the like button, fam. And share the show's stream on your social media. It helps out a lot. Share it. Check out the Pro Shop that's listed in the chat below, the Black and Gold store. New gear. A tribute to Dennis Allen called Trust the Dentist. We got gear available in the Pro Shop, link in the description section below, man. Check it out. Score you some gear. It's not just the shirts and all that, but it's coffee mugs, posters, bedspreads, leggings for the ladies, for the queens. I mean, got all kind of stuff, man, that's down there. So check out the Pro Shop. Get you some gear. That's a Jameis one called Unshakable Faith, with him pointing up like that. I mean, check that out. That's available at the Pro Shop. Score you one. It helps out the platform. So on that note, I'm going to holler at y'all later. I appreciate y'all, fam, for stopping by. Y'all be safe, and y'all have a great weekend. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace, and who that?
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that?
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.